have you know, we understand the concept of not hurting anybody or whatever. And I guess the first human they tried to make was the Bigfoot, but the Bigfoot wasn't good because he was too soft. He couldn't even like squash a bug, and you know that didn't work. You'd have to have a little bit, you know, harder than that. So they made humans. So, anyways, so you hear that, you know, humans are royalty, genetic royalty. So like we're actually genetically more advanced than the aliens who are abducting us and the aliens who are flying around. So it's kind of like, you know, like really smart people who are really poor, living in some poor village, and for some weird reason, the people who are like ruling them and abusing them are actually really stupid, like genetically less advanced. So like, and even in higher dimensions, like we're living in the third dimension now, in a lower dimension, but there's like other races and civilizations living in a higher dimension than us, but their souls are younger than us, and their bodies that they're living in, even though they're in a higher dimension, have less DNA, only have like 11 strand DNA. They have simpler DNA. So it's like a topsy-turvy situation we're living in the earth. That humans are avatars. We're actually able to create, I guess we were creator gods, I don't know, but like humans are, I guess like there's Anunnaki, like, or maybe we're bad. So like if you look at an Anunnaki and you look at us, we're actually more advanced than Anunnaki. And we're more advanced than a gray. We're more advanced, maybe not advanced as in bigger head and like in a lot of ways, but we're more capable of, because we have a 12-strand DNA. Because we were created by the good aliens, the keepers or the guardians. And so all we have to do is activate all 12 strands of our DNA and we'll be able to be gods. Humans, she says the human body was never designed to die. So maybe once we get into the next dimension, like maybe I'll never die. Maybe I'll never have to die because I'm human. And then all of my DNA strands, kind of like Lord of the Rings, the elves are immortal. Or maybe we're immortal just like the elves. So like all of our DNA will activate all the way up to those 12 strands. And all of our chakras, going back to chakras, will be connected all straight to God. We'll have a straight line to God. We'll have, through the 12th chakra and all the other chakras. And each chakra, like I said before, is connected to a different shape because it's a different platonic solid, which represents a different dimension. Each chakra is aligned to a different dimension. So like if you're having a vision of love, you're connecting to the love dimension, and then you're having a connection of a kundalini, or I don't know, a nirvana experience. It's because your 12th chakra is connected directly to God, which is, beyond duality of sex, beyond duality. It's just one, so like the chakra connects. But in the universe, in the galaxy where we live, different stars represent are the actual connector points between our chakras and that and the chakra that it represents of the universe. Like a good way to make an analogy would be, like you have a bunch of towers. You're in a cell phone and you're talking in a cell phone tower, and you have lots of different cell phone plans. You have like a bunch of towers spread out, and you want to talk with simple like text, and you only use the certain like little low towers that would go all the way around. So you look at all the low towers, and they're all turned on, and you know, this one's here, this one's here, this one's here, and you talk to them with, they're all connecting like that. But then if you want to talk on the phone with voice, you have to use the big towers. But there's a lot fewer of the big towers, and they're a lot farther apart, and they're a lot higher. So then those would connect to each other, and they talk to each other as if the little ones didn't even exist. And those were the ones you would use if, and they go farther out. Like the little ones only are in the local area, and then the big ones go off to the other side of the state. And then if you want to like do video chat, those are the really big ones that go all the way across the world, and that's the one you would use across the world. So that's kind of how it is with like planets. Like third dimension, we have the Earth and all the planets we can see, but then we have some other planets, I guess 5 other planets in the solar system that are in another dimension, we can't even see them. But we have, but different of our chakras are connected to the center of God, representing that particular dimension through a different star. So like, I think Alcyon is the star, and I don't know what star that is, but it's around here somewhere, which is the one that would connect, say, our 5th chakra to God, to God's 5th chakra. Through that shape, in that dimension. So we can see it. And then there's like another planet in Sirius, I think, which is another chakra of our 6th chakra, but it's in another dimension, so we can't even see it. And then, in Sirius, I think there's a black hole, which is the chakra that would connect the higher dimension. And then, so then there's like another one. So if you were to look at the universe in like 3rd dimension, you'd see these planets. And then if you up the vibration, higher dimension, you see these planets. You see more of them. And they all connect to each other, and they talk to each other that way. But they don't pay attention to the ones that are lower below. And then you want to get even higher dimension, which would connect a bigger universe. And then you see what other ones. And the bigger, the more communication they do. So, black holes are really big, so those can communicate from far away. So anyways, that's basically like explains chakras. But anyway, so that's the beauty of the American, or not the American, okay, my card ran out, but I got a new one in there. So yeah, the human race was created to try to bring the fallen angels back up to sky again, back up to the high vibration, to ascend again. And so I think the souls that inhabit human races are advanced souls who went down and they created the human body, the human race, to be able to do that. But these evil alien races, they came down to try to preserve what they have by trying to interbreed their races with the human race, and that's that's how our human race of today comes from. That's why we're 4 times as dense as we should be. That's why the death hormone kicks in at the age of 35 and makes it so we die by the time we're 80. That's why only 2 of our strands are activated instead of 12. That's why only 12% of our brain is being used, I guess. The human body is like a Lamborghini with a Pinto engine in it. It's like all you have to do is take it into the shop and get the right parts put in it, and then you get going. So, or no, maybe the better analogy would be, it's like a Lamborghini with a governor put on it. Like a really powerful engine, but it's got a little thing put in there to keep it from getting past a certain thing, because the evil aliens who came and made us, they made us like that so that they could control us. So that's basically what I think what she's saying is that, and I've heard Barbara Marciniak say the same thing. Like there's actually Anna Hayes has lots of similarities between what she says and what other people say, like as far as like aliens encoding humans to be afraid, putting fear into our DNA, and keeping us from thinking right. And I do, I feel that in my brain. Like I feel my brain not working, not taking me as far as I want to, imaginatively wise, and train of thought and concentration and just overall like intuition and psychic power. It just feels like there's a governor on there. Like I have a soul inside me who's like ready to run, but there's this like glass ceiling in my brain or something. I kind of feel that, and so maybe that's